Is it more important to be more positive thinking or less negative thinking?
Well, again, powerful research, fascinating research on that point. And we used to, over the years, ever since, I guess, Vincent Peale, wasn't it, that wrote the book, The Power of Positive Thinking?
Uh-huh.
Think positive, think positive, be an optimist, think more positive thoughts. That's a good dogma. That's a good piece of advice.
Mm-hmm. It's better to be positive than negative.
But yes.
Right.
But what the research has found, and we think because if we'll become more positive, then that means we're less negative, right? That's kind of true. But what they have found is that you don't have one attitudinal scale with optimism on one end and pessimism on the other end. They're two separate scales. And you'll get a lot more mileage out of reducing, really cutting down on the negative thinking. That is more beneficial to you than increasing positive thoughts. Because the negative does more damage than the positive does good.
Really?
And again, that's some very disciplined behavioral research. And it just kind of blew people's mind when that surfaced.
How much damage happens to our brain, our heart, our nervous system when we're thinking negatively on a consistent daily basis?
It can have long-term effects on the body. Cortisol levels in the body go up, and first of all, it just depletes energy usually. Yes. It's a real energy, and not just your energy, but it's depleting on other people's energy too. Attitudes are very contagious. And there was a study done, it's one of the classic studies in psychology, of nuns. They started decades and decades ago. And over a period of 50 or 60 years, what they did in this research, they did testing on a group of young females that were going into kind of convent, becoming a nun. So, and they would test them periodically. And after, I can't remember if it's 50 or 60 years, they looked at this group of women, and what they found, I'm just really collapsing the data down to the bottom line on this. What they found was that those nuns who were more optimistic, they were more upbeat, more positive, were living 7 years on average longer.
Really?
Than the pessimists.
Wow.
Which is crazy when you start thinking. That means negative thinking does more damage than smoking.
Wow.
To lifespan. So yeah, that stuff is bad stuff. And it's funny to me that we go through grade school, elementary school, and then we maybe go through college and so on and so forth. I don't remember ever having a class on managing your mental processes, your attitude, and so forth.
Your emotions.
Yes.
The only time I got that training was in sports after school.
Yeah.
Where the coaches are like talking about attitude, have a good attitude,
Exactly.
All these different things.
Yeah.
That's when I got the most knowledge, was playing sports and failing every single day, making mistakes, having a coach correct and try to hopefully reinforce positive behavior, positive attitudes, positive routines in order to accomplish the goal of winning. But you didn't really get that in school.
But your most recent book, Make Money Easy. I mean, the psychological principles that we're talking about play throughout that book. I love the book.
Yes. Thank you.
Great reading.
It's all about managing the emotions with our relationship with money. Because when we're thinking negatively about money all the time, typically, why would we attract more of it? Why would we generate more of it if we're constantly in a negative mind space around it? Or when we have it and we're thinking negatively about it, it's just not going to feel good. And so it's about creating a healthier relationship with money.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a great book. And once again, not something that was coming my direction through any of my education in the early years, which is a fundamental basic thing of life.
Yeah.
You know, your ability to deal with money and think about money and manage it, you know. But yeah, it's a human behavior, and your attitude comes in spades.
Yeah. You have a quote. I love this quote in your book, Lucky You. It says, "So let your deepest desire direct your aim. Set your sights far above the reasonable target. The power of purpose is profound only if you have a desire that stirs the heart." And that's something you mentioned earlier in the conversation about really having something that like creates fire in your heart when you're thinking about a goal. Not just something like, yeah, that'd be nice to have this thing or incremental growth, but really, what is that thing that almost kind of scares you a little bit or maybe a lot?
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, what's one mindset shift that you think is holding people back from allowing themselves to believe in something greater and pursue that thing that really stirs their heart?
Well, sometimes they feel it'd be selfish.
Really? Why is it selfish to go after our big goals and dreams?
Well, because quantum leap goals have a big appetite. They want most of the food on your plate.
Yeah, it's true.
You're chasing one right now.
Yes.
And that means that other things fade into the shadows.
Yeah. You got to let go of a lot of other things.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people feel like, I can't do that. That's all me. That's just a selfish thing. That I don't need to do that. I'm not sure I could pull it off anyway. You know, all this stuff. And so I mentioned earlier, giving yourself permission to do these big things. It's kind of funny when I'm out there working on a $500 million merger, and I'm sitting with the top exec in the acquiring company, and they're mashing these two companies together, and it's difficult stuff, you know. And you got emotions running wild, political stuff churning,
Egos.
Oh yeah, it's got everything. And so much of the time, my job is giving him permission to do what he knows he needs to do. It's saying, here I am. I'm an expert on the outside. We've done $350 billion worth of merger deals over the years. And so I can say, Louis, you need to do this, and you need to do it today. Go. And it's like, oh, thank you. And they knew they needed to do it. And so it's giving ourselves permission to do some of the things that it's where our heart lives. And another reason that you need to have some real emotional you tied up in it is because you're going to go through some dark moments. We talked about the failures, the setbacks, just the punishments that come your way in the process. And so it's got to matter to you. But that's when life takes on real meaning. And that's when you grow. And if the person is totally comfortable, I start to tilt my head and look at them kind of at an angle, you know, because I'm thinking you can have too much equilibrium in your life.
Too much balance or too much comfort or...
Yeah, be too comfortable and too much stasis. That's when things... He not busy being born is busy dying. That was the Bob Dylan line. We need friction in our life. There is, because that's when you grow.
Yes.
And we've talked before. Okay, when I go to, down the street to LA Fitness to work out, I don't go there to be comfortable.
Right.
I don't go there to take a nap. And yet I think exercise, weightlifting, and such is the fountain of youth. I really do. I mean, it is such a pervasive positive influence on you. And if you want a better optimism, better, positive outlook on life, exercise is about as good a drug as you can find.
Yeah. You're looking in good shape right now. You're looking strong.
Not like you, though.
Are you lifting a lot?
I'm semi-regular.
Yeah. A couple of days a week or...
For my age, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, you're looking real lean, strong.
Well...
how young are you now?
I am 83 years old.
Wow. Amazing. Looking great.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You're looking so fit. It's inspiring to me. Makes me want to try harder.
That's good.
You know, but talking about this thing about we need friction in our life, or too much equilibrium is a dangerous thing. But people it's kind of that status quo. Nassim Nicholas Taleb wrote this book. He's written several, Fooled by Randomness, The Black Swan, and he wrote this book called Antifragile. I love that book. Now, that book is that thick. And he is an amazingly smart guy. But he talks about how some things benefit from being punched around, from friction, from setbacks, failures, stretching, putting yourself out there and taking the blows, the slings and arrows of life, as opposed to sitting in your house, leaning back in watching TV all the time. And he says, okay, here's a good way to picture it. Let's say that you have a box of fine crystal Baccarat crystal champagne glasses, and you're going to send them to Prague. Some friend in Prague, okay? So how do you package? You package these very, very carefully, and then close the box and you stamp all over it. Handle with care, fragile, fragile, fragile. Handle with care. Okay. But let's say because it gets damaged by friction, we'll say, or turbulence, change. Well, let's say that you've got a basketball. You're going to send it to Prague. So you put it in a box, package it, throw it in there and everything. If it gets slammed around, the box kind of crusted, okay, the ball is resilient.
Yes.
The ball comes back and so forth. No damage to the ball. It's right back the way it was. But if you have something else that benefits from change, from turbulence, from friction, you would put it in there. You wouldn't put any packing around it or anything, and you'd stamp on the outside.
Throw it around.
Throw it around.
Yeah.
Sling it this way, whatever. It's anti-fragile, and it's good for it to get that. Well, that's what we need to make ourselves. We need to make ourselves anti-fragile. And that means we need to create this equilibrium in our own lives. We need to stretch. We need to do things that are kind of difficult for us. And then we become less fragile.
Yeah.
We become better than resilient. We grow from it.
Yes.
We don't just get back to the way we were. We get better.
We become different. We become a different person.
Yeah. That's one thing about the difference between small goals and big goals. There's a lot that's been written about the small goals, little bitty goals. And I'm first of all, I'm just a massive believer in setting goals for your life. Small goals are good for to-do lists, or if you're trying to develop a habit and some of those kinds of things. But small goals create small energy. They attract small resources. And they're very, very incremental. Big goals create energy. They stir you up. They make you more creative. They attract other people. People want to be part of it. And so when you set big goals, you don't just achieve more, you become more.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this and you want more inspirational content, make sure to click the subscribe button below and click right here to watch what's coming next.